Alrighty, guys, welcome here to the Team Liquid Super Brawl Finals. I'm Solid Jake, joined by Zoya in. He's over in. I don't even know what that is.
Hi, Jake.
Hi, Zoya.
How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. How you been?
Oh, you know, same shit, different day.
Same thing, different day. Great. Okay, guys. It's this is of course the finals of the event. Now, just to bring everyone up to speed, the Team Liquid Super Brawl happened last week, but on Saturday night servers went down, so it stalled the tournament out a bit, and then Sunday night, just as we were about to start the finals, the servers went down again. As a result, the tournament had to be pushed back an entire week. That's pretty much due to the fact that there were events everywhere, from Heroes Hype to Titan Arena to, well, the 4th of July.
Yeah.
What is that music?
I don't hear it.
Anyways,
I just can't stop staring at your hair.
I know.
What happened?
I got assaulted by a haircut lady. She just decimated my head, man.
Yeah.
She just went ham.
She went ham, man.
I was like, don't make it too short. And I take my glasses off and I put the trust into her hands.
Yeah.
And then she just pulled out like the sickest scissors she could find and just went in. Is that Heroes music?
I don't know. I'm not hearing it.
All right, that's Heroes music. Anyways, we are getting ready to start. It's a best-of-5 series. And Zoya, Temple Storm, why don't you explain why they have that 1-0 advantage?
Well, it is a double elimination bracket, which we've experienced a lot in Heroes, but usually what we've seen from the past is it's a second best of 5 if the person from the lower bracket ends up winning the first best of 5 or best of 3, however you want to do it. This is a different situation, though. Some other games have also used this format where instead of doing 2 best of 3s, 2 best of 5s, that can take a long time.
Yeah.
The team from the winner's bracket starts up 1-0, and that's the case we have today. We're going to be starting with Temple Storm being up 1-0. They did not lose, and Maelstrom did end up coming back through the loser's bracket to reface Temple Storm again, because they did hit in the winner's finals.
That is true, and if I'm not mistaken, it was a 2-0 in favor of Temple Storm in the winner's finals.
Yes, I believe so. It's been like a week, so I don't remember.
It's actually crazy the number of events that are happening, because like a week is just like, you expect me to remember what happened last week? Excuse me?
You're at like 4 tournaments ago. Like, yeah, it's a tough. I think it was 2-0. Might have been 2-1. I know they beat us recently in a game.
Wow.
I don't know if that was the tournament.
So, just kind of recapping the history of the scene, it's really just been these two teams in the finals back to back to back for the last several months, it feels like. But recently, Tempo looking a little bit more dominant with the addition of Zuna. Sorry, she wants to give you a kiss.
No, that was terribly aimed. Hold on. Do it again.
She's so mad right now.
That was weird. That was weird.
We did it. We did it, Reddit.
Okay, it was Tempo 2-0 in the winners finals. And then Maelstrom came back. They played Complexity in the losers finals and won 2-1 there. And now, of course, the rematch 7. But like you said, these two teams have been playing since, I guess it's probably, it has to be the biggest rivalry in Heroes. Like, even outdating things in EU. Maelstrom and Temple Storm, back then it was maybe just Cloud9. Actually, they were Team Liquid originally and SMG, and then they ended up going to Cloud9, and they became Maelstrom, and eventually SMG became Temple Storm. Like, these guys have been facing off in tournament finals for so long that only one team, I think, has won a tournament like consistently outside of them, and that was Barrel Boys for a while.
Yeah,
Barrel Boys was the only one that was able to
before they were
compete with
Complexity.
anyone. And it's just been these two in every single final since then.
Definitely right. Complexity on the rise lately. They got third 2 times in a row, and that's actually pretty impressive. So they're really starting to increase their consistency as a team. But guys, just a bit of an update. We are in fact trying to get into this first best of 5 of the day. And
only best of 5.
One best of 5, yes, the one and only best of 5. The finals here of the event. Kat, you need to You need to calm yourself. But we are currently just waiting on the lobby invite and the Stormcraft link.
I just messaged Wade Not.
Wade Not. That's Dreadnought.
Okay, they're just doing the coin flip. So we got a few. Jake,
okay.
How's it going, man?
It's going well. I'm about to go to the beach for a week and just kind of chill with the lady. No passion, right?
Dread got a boomerang, and we went and played with it the other day.
Did you guys have some boomerang burns?
No boomerang burns, but Dread got good enough to where it would almost come back to where he was standing.
Wow.
It would land like 2 feet away.
Now he's got to learn how to juggle boomerangs. He's got to throw like 16 of them and just juggle them, just keep throwing them, have them keep coming back. That would be a talent that I would be interested in watching, Jared.
Well, he just got juggling knives. And those are like...
Why?
He told me he was getting juggling knives, and they're like juggling swords.
Oh?
And they're terrifying. And I don't want him to play with them. Because I need his hands need to be intact and not cut.
Yeah, that's I don't think that's a good idea.
he has faith in his juggling skills. How is he going to prove that he's a better juggler than Jester? He's got to one him up with swords.
It's true. Swords. S-words, yeah. Boys. Throw your S-words in the air. Catch them. But hopefully you don't lose your fingers.
That would be ideal. That would be ideal.
So, like Zoya said, we are currently waiting for the teams to... Well, they're doing the map selection process right now, the coin flip, that whole deal. Takes a few moments, so that's why the event is a bit delayed. We're about 10 minutes behind, but it's okay.
How you enjoying the patch, Jake?
Yo, Butchie Boys?
Butchie Boys?
I love the fresh meat. I mean, Butcher, he might have taken out my hair. He might have slain it, but it's okay. This patch overall has been very fun.
I like it too. I think a lot of the changes were needed. Some of them not so much, like Ripperino, Vicarinos, but...
Yeah, they're dead.
Some of the changes were really good, like the promote change was needed, and some of the support changes were cool. Some of them not so much.
Brightwing got dumpstered. She actually just lives in the trash now. Let me see if we can help you there, Jared.
I like how you have the graphic on hand.
Oh, Brightwing. There we go. Put it in there. Oh, there she goes. Right in the dumpster. Brightwing in the dumpster. Goodbye. She's not really very good anymore.
No. Unfortunately not. What other cool changes happened?
Malf is now quite good. He was already quite good, but now he's quite better. Rhaegar is still amazing. He can cleanse while in wolf form. Sanctification is bugged, and that's something we can talk about. You cannot interrupt Sanctification as it is being cast, and it's a bit of a bug. I think it's banned out of a lot of events. I assume it's banned out today. But one thing we can talk about is the fact that since this tournament did happen prior to the patch, we didn't get to see any of these things we're talking about, these changes. But we're now in the new patch, same tournament, and Butcher and Battlefield of Eternity will be available to play. Zay's 1307 with that 4-month sub. Thanks, buddy. We get the sub hype on. We get those wiggles on. Thanks for subscribing, Hypa. Thanks for wiggling, Jared.
I got your back, homie. Yeah, the map is cool too. Battlefield of Eternity. A lot of interesting strats on it. We'll maybe see today. There's a lot of fun things you can do. Blizzard's maps, the last 3 of them, have been really well designed. I've liked all of them.
Yeah. Tomb is one of my favorite maps, and Sky Temple might be my favorite map.
Sky Temple's really good. Yeah, and this next one, even if it's not like, if it ends up being like not the most competitive, viable map, it's still fun to play, just like in, like Hero League and Team League and stuff, which is really cool. I'm really enjoying the patch so far. And then it's been what, a week since Butcher released, and it's supposed to be like a 3-week, 4-week schedule before the next hero comes out. So we're already almost halfway to Skeleton King. I believe, is the next one.
Leoric, man, yeah, it's roughly every 3 weeks. So Butcher's a week out. In theory, 2 to 3 weeks from now, we'll have Leoric.
And we need more warriors. Okay, so that's the funny thing. Like I say, we need more warriors because there's really only like 3 competitively viable ones you see picked. You got Joanna, Murden, and Anubarak. But when you actually go through and list all the warriors, there's a lot of them, man.
There's a ton of them, but none of them get played.
So many warrior, but none of them get played, which is really interesting because when you think about supports, right now there's really only 3 competitively viable supports, but there's only 5 total.
Right, because Cassinar and
supports.
Tyrande aren't really supports, but she's on the rise a little bit right now.
Kind of. In NA, like Maelstrom and a few other teams have been picking her up a lot, so don't see her like as freaking as she was in the EU. But we're getting there, man.
Slowly but surely, we are getting there. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the teams are. Man, they are taking their sweet time.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm gonna go ahead and ask Dread for another update. I don't want to bug him. Let him focus on the drafting.
Yeah, well, obviously the draft has not begun because lobby comes first, then draft comes next, and we're just slowly buying our time while we wait for them to begin.
Jake,
so off.
If you were to be a hero in Heroes of the Storm, like Solid Jake GG, or excuse me, Solid Jack Egg, what would your abilities be?
My Q would be Egg Intolerance. I would eat an egg and I would projectile vomit on the lane.
Great.
Splash damage. Slow as well. Very Stitches-like.
Definitely has to slow. Definitely has to slow.
Damage over time. All right.
Yeah, dot. Yeah. I like it. I like it.
My W would just be Bloodlust. And like a mini Bloodlust. Like a 1 second Bloodlust.
So like Raynor.
Sure. But Bloodlust.
The Bloodlust.
It better go blah, blah, blah. You know, I can't make this sound.
No, I get you. I get you.
As long as I can make that sound a lot, that'd be pretty good. My E would have to be... It would just be a Bolt. You just have Bolt on E. Yeah. Would have that. Yo, this is my hero, man. I'm going to design it however I think I should be played.
So, he'd have low base survivability.
Yes.
Like, you know, HP very low. And low base auto attack. Clearly. Because look at those hands. Like, you're not hurting anyone with that.
Wow. Oh, we got a lobby invite.
Oh.
My, it would have a permanent mount, like Rhaegar, except I wouldn't be in wolf form. I'd be riding the cat, maybe. I would ride on maybe into battle. Perma mount. And, she would summon a litter of kittens as one of the heroics. It's like Murky's March, except each of them stun you with cuteness.
So instead of, like, making new abilities, like, you just, like, Projectile Vomit, which is basically Chen's, you know, Q, and then you took Bloodlust as your W, Bolt as your E, March of the Murloc as one of your heroics, you took Rhaegar's mount.
Yeah.
Okay,
creative,
Jake.
boys. I'm not a game designer. For a reason.
You called it. Good job, Jake.
We did it, guys.
Are you in this lobby?
I was, and then I wasn't.
Sky Temple is going to be map number 1 for today's tournament. Sky Temple being a favorite map for Temple Storm. We usually see it being one of the first or second maps played from that team.
It's true. It's pretty common to see that. We were just talking about how it's one of the newer maps, but very fun. All right, we're just waiting for the draft link. Have they sent it to you by any chance?
No.
Okay, just making sure. All right, so yeah, Sky Temple, super important in terms of just like the rotations, making sure they soak. Do you think we're going to see Abathur played at all? Now, Abathur's still very good in this patch, especially with Vikings being nerfed. Potentially has a little bit more priority for maps where you want to have that additional soak.
I think it's potential. There's potential for Abathur to get played more, especially with how his playstyle has changed and just people in general getting better at him, right?
Yeah.
They're much better at keeping an eye on their positioning. And
yeah.
It was just funny seeing
Chat.
people's feedback on your hero.
Yo, man. Alt haircut lady. That's excellent.
I wouldn't mind seeing more Abathur, especially since people like Monstrosity is actually like getting really, like people are getting much better at it.
That's true.
And I've seen like when Biceps would use Monstrosity, like he would like almost be able to solo a hero with it at times, like just one on one. Like the thing is terrifying. So.
Okay. Well, we are currently waiting for that Stormcraft link, and we're actually going to get going very soon. See, really, we were just making sure everyone could get enough time to get in to the channel and watch these great games that are coming up. Please, no! No, why? I have control of everything. Okay.
I got a link for Dread.
Oh, you got a link. All right. Link it to me in Skype, Rooney, and we will get going here.
Linkarino Duno.
The shenanigans to kill time. Oh, my goodness. Heroes draft? I was not prepared for this.
Are they supposed to be like? Does it matter?
It just matters where I put the logo, and I'll just fix it once we get there.
Okay.
The event logo
Rip
can look
the
a bit
dream.
funky. Rip the dream. All right, guys. Just about ready to start Sky Temple here. Game number 1 technically, but Temple Storm does have a 1-0 advantage as they are the team coming from the winner's side. They already defeated Cloud9 Maelstrom in the winner's bracket 2-0. So all things considered, if this was an extended series, it would be far worse.
Yeah, it would be. Scenic Series was something that I don't know if it was ever a thing in other games. I think it came from Halo originally, maybe.
Came from MLG.
That StarCraft community didn't like extended series.
No,
They didn't like it at all.
they did not.
This is similar to it basically, but we are waiting for the teams to ready up. We've let them know that we are ready. Now this is a different situation we saw last week. These teams have had a full week to learn the patch. We just saw the last time we played. They were played Friday night, Titan Arena, which was for the teams really less than a few days of practice because they had Heroes Hype the next day.
Oh, yeah,
Patch day, usually just kind of messing around and stuff. Not much practice, but now that we've had the whole weekend, Jake, we have to see what these teams have fleshed out.
It's going to be really fun to see that too, because once you're able to go to the lab, if you will, as your team, just kind of go back, hit the drawing board, and see what works. Find out synergies that exist with all these new changes that have been made to the heroes. Figure out how you want to prioritize your supports, your warriors, your assassins. Maybe even play the Butcher, because in the tournaments that we've seen up to this point in time, we really haven't seen the Butcher played.
Yeah, he fits in. It's really cool. He kind of, I personally think he'll replace Kerrigan. In the teams that like that aggressive play style, your Complexities, your Zeverons, where they really like those aggressive heroes. I think he has the potential to just straight up replace Kerrigan in those comps. They kind of fill the same role, except you can't miss Butcher's combo. You just press E on someone. Or with Kerrigan, we know, especially with how Zuna played that one Spider Queen game, you can miss combos. You can miss them a lot. But the draft has started, Jake. Cloud9 Maelstrom with that first ban. They are going to ban out Tassadar.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting to see Tassadar banned here, but when you consider the versatility that he has, I'm trying to get this logo in the right place. I'm just doing a bad job. Good enough. Yeah, Tassadar banned out, followed by Zeratul. Immediate pickup on Jaina. Nothing too weird here. We will definitely see Sylvanas and Sylvanas Kel'Thas.
Kel'Thas Sylvana, actually.
Sylvie makes it through.
Sylvanas, man, she's in a different spot. The damage to her ult plus the change to an Envenom.
That's true.
It hurt. It didn't make her. She didn't fall off completely, but last patch she was first pick, first ban every single game, and now
yeah,
teams got different priorities.
It's still very good, but the Envenom change does definitely hurt quite a bit.
Yeah.
And okay, very interesting to see that. Well, Kel'Thas, of course, very known for his late game potential. Johanna puts that threat of potential Asmoden play here, especially here on this map.
Yeah, and that's probably what Tempo Storm is realizing. There's been a real, especially from Maelstrom, if we watch the Titan Arena drafts, they were doing a really good job of choke holding out those healers. So now this puts Maelstrom into a position. They'll either have to ban the Asmodan or ban a healer and let Tempo Storm get Asmodan, unless they pick Asmodan here. Most teams have gotten pretty lazy with their Asmodans, Jake, since Joanna has been released.
Yeah.
People were running Asmodan before without Joanna because clearly she wasn't out. They're willing to farm stacks that way. But now, you almost never see anyone pick Asmodan if Joanna is taken or banned.
It's true.
So will Maelstrom be willing to lock in that Asmodan here, or are we going to want to throw away a ban on it?
Yeah, they could still spend that ban, but that's so... You don't want to spend your ban on Asmodan. But they're really thinking this one through now. Looking at the list of heroes, they are going to prioritize Malfurion. They're well aware that Dread does play a fair amount of Malf. This could signal that they're opting to maybe potentially ban something like Rhaegar, try to get rid of those supports. But I really don't think we could see them go Asmodan here. I just don't. They play plenty of Asmo. It just doesn't seem like a solid pick with what they have thus far.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they want to do. I like the Malfurion pickup here with the Kael'thas and then potential Asmodan. That is a lot of AoE damage, just Kael'thas alone. And Uther can't keep up with that healing. As we were talking about during the little downtime we had, there's really the three top-tier supports right now, Malf, Rhaegar, and Uther. You need to pick one of those to deal with the AoE damage. Uther's got great healing, and he's got the damage prevention from the Divine Shield, but he doesn't have the ability to keep up with the AoE damage. That's why Malf and Rhaegar are so important. They're going to go for the... They're definitely doing it, Jake. They are going to try and choke hold Tempo Storm out of a support here. 100% expecting a Rhaegar ban from them, going to force Tempo Storm into playing Lily.
Now this is a little bit more. Is this a single ban draft?
So
they messed up.
They messed up, so they're going into. They banned in chat right here. Tempo Storm banned out Illidan, and then Cloud9 Maelstrom banned out Rhaegar. So this is forcing Tempo Storm into picking that Lily here. Let's see if they'll actually just continue the picks.
Let's just clarify something very quickly. You're saying forcing them into picking Lily. That's because of how big the change to Brightwing is. Typically, it might be saying, hey, what about Brightwing? What about Brightwing? But she's so much worse in this current patch, which is why you're suggesting Lily over her. Now, personally, obviously, you know Tempo Storm better than I. I still think Brightwing has some viability when you compare her to Lily. But yes, by taking Uther, Malf, and then denying Rhaegar and Tassadar, this puts Tempo in a really odd spot. And, like, even Tyrande, like, she might even be worth considering at this point in time.
Yeah, Tyrande might be worth considering. Actually, with this composition, is one of the few that Brightwing might be viable, just because there's not too much burst damage options left from Maelstrom, right? They have the Jaina, which... That's about it. So going to Brightwing for the more like sustained blink kill types heals might work here. It just depends on what we're thinking. And clearly, Tempo Storm going for their damages. They don't have to lock in the support here because if Maelstrom picks Brightwing or Lily, they have no damage.
Yeah, there's just really no reason to. And you were talking about burst potential, like the lack of what's remaining on the table. I mean, really, it's just Zeratul. If you remove Vala, you remove that potential of the Hungering Arrow build. And additionally, Vala can be a nice pair for Asmodan. The multi-shot to help just weaken those minions, and the Global Annihilation comes in, getting all those stacks to farm with that taste for blood. But Maelstrom, it is now their final 2 picks.
Yeah, we're going to lock in the Murden, of course, still open, one of the best warriors in the game. No surprise there. As for their final damage, they need some form of sustain damage to help keep up with just to balance out the double support. They need something to make the fights last a little bit longer. Zagara is definitely an option. Of course, we do know Maelstrom, they have a tendency for picking that Falstad. Will that be the option to go with here? Potentially just try and blow someone up in a Divine Storm with Jaina Falstad burst.
There's a lot of lockdown, for sure. Do they go all in and do something actually just ridiculous like Sonya or Arthas? Or you think they just can't get away without having the damage? Because this is Sky Temple. In theory, if you can sit on those points, currently there's no mule for Tempo. They do lock out the Tyrande.
That is a lot of supports, Jake.
Yeah.
That is a triple support comp. Basically, what their plan is to outlast Tempo Storm and blow someone up in a Jaina combo with the Hunter's Mark.
Yeah.
That is their only plan. And they realize they can do that. Lily and Brightwing, neither. I dream. Neither of those healers have burst healing. If Dread can't keep whoever up with it is Lily or the Brightwing heals, that target's gonna die.
And
like,
look, and think about
so
cups.
fast.
Think about cups. It can be interrupted by Lunar Flare. You could spec into Lunar Blaze, have the additional range to just stop the heal on Lily, that big heroic. And it's her or Brightwing. And Tempo, they really have to decide what's pick your poison. And at this point, it's going to be Lily. Oh my goodness. So let's talk about a few other things. Tempo Storm cannot get Mule. Cloud9 can. In fact, Cloud9 could get 2.
Yep.
This is Sky Temple. Mule is a pretty big, priority. That's why Mouth is just also very good on this map. This is going to be a weird game.
Yeah. That's one way to put it, Jake. Now, it's all going to come down to Maelstrom again blowing someone up in that combo.
Yeah.
If they can do that, this looks kind of terrifying. Because Lily can't keep up with those heals at all. And like you said, no cleanse. We have so many stuns and roots coming out from Maelstrom. Like the jugs can get interrupted every single time. We saw Maelstrom, I believe it was Maelstrom, force Tempo Storm into a Lily pick at Road to BlizzCon, maybe?
Yes, I think so.
And Jugs was someone did on Haunted Minds, and Jugs was interrupted every single time it was used. There was no way that Dread could get Jugs to just get a full channel. But then again, Tempo Storm has that late game power. Post 16, the Asmon and Kel'Thas poke, gonna be terrifying.
It's gonna be. Yeah, so that's the one thing that Tempo has on their side, is the fact that they do have that long range poke to try to burn through them. But when they have triple healers, up until, as long as Tempo can get to late game, they're fine. But if they can't get there, that poke is going to be negligible. It's like, okay, you get a heal, you get a heal, you get a heal. And if Dunk decides to go like, oh, I'm going to go Enduring Growth, and then I'm going to get Life Seed, and we're going to go Tranquility, and suddenly you get the increased heal at level 13 for Tyrande, and you just cannot kill anyone.
Tempo Storm used to do this kind of style on this map, where it's like, this is the map it works for. You stand on the shrine, and there's no way you're going to die. All you have to do, especially because you pointed it out, Jake, no Mule for Tempo Storm. All Maelstrom has to do is make sure they control every shrine and don't get out-pushed like outside of the shrine phase, and they can guarantee a win through just the map objectives. No Mule to prevent that at all. So that's going to be really cool to see how Maelstrom executes that strategy.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to find this out. This is game number 1 of this series, and on the left side of the blue team, it's Cloud9 Maelstrom with Dunk Train playing as Uther Fan on Malfurion. Never thought I'd see that day. iDream playing Jaina K1 Pro on Tyrande, and it's going to be King Caffeine playing as Muradin.
And in the red trunks on the right-hand side of the map, we have Tempo Storm currently up 1-0 in this best-of-5 finals. Zuna on Kel'Thas, Dreadnought on Lily, Soldier on Joanna, Arthalon on that Asmodee, and KO playing Vala.
Alright guys, remember this is, like Zoya mentioned, currently a 1-0 advantage for Tempo Storm as they came from the winner's side of the bracket. It's a best-of-5 series, so Tempo needs 2 wins, Cloud9 needs 3.
Yep, we'll have to see if this can be something that swings momentum in Maelstrom's favor. You have to keep in mind there is always mentality, things that can happen when you start a series down just 1-0.
They got to be feeling pretty good about this draft, though. I really think it's an interesting draft. By getting rid of all of the supports, forcing them into Lily can be very beneficial, but already Arthalon working on picking up those stacks, but we see that Zuna's getting quite low on the Kel'Thas. Will end up getting out, and it's going to be Muradin, King Caffeine, that falls for that first blood in the game.
Really, just a little bit of an oversection there, and Dunk Train might actually go down. There's the stun coming out from Tyrande. Zuna coming up for the poke, and that is going to be a double kill going over to Tempo Storm. Caffeine overextending, taking 3 tower shots before he leaped out, really helping burst them down, and of course they could not escape with Dunk Train's life.
Well, that's a pretty decent start there for Tempo Storm. We can already see just a nice little small experience advantage in favor of them. This early on with teams this even, not a common thing to see.
Caffeine pressuring Dunk Dreadnought in the top lane, trying to zone him out of experience. Good rotations coming up from Zuna, and it looks like Tempo Storm wants to contest his top shrine as they are up here. As for Arthalon sitting in the bush, they do see Dunk Train down there trying to get that shrine, and they have to be careful with this positioning.
Yeah, we see Johanna getting quite low. Lunar Flare connecting there with Lily. Dreadnought's going to just walk away. And we do see those temples, middle and top portion. 3v3 in the top lane. We do see Malfurion and Vala staying down there in the bottom. They want to make sure to maximize the experience potential.
Interesting choice from KO there to go the multi-shot build. We don't really see that anymore right now when you pick Vala. It's mainly for the single target damage. But there goes the stun going down on the Dreadnought. You want to try and displace enemies as much as they can. Blizzard not landing on top of Dreadnought quite right, and he does end up living through that burst. And it looks like Tempo Storm is going to keep the pressure up on this top shrine.
Yeah, they're actually holding the middle shrine pretty well. Arthlon just stepping in there to take a few of the shots. He has been soaking the lane successfully as well. Tempo with a slight experience lead. Hunter's Mark currently on Soldier. It is going to dissipate rather rapidly. Those blinds from Lilia are making a rather big difference to keep him up, stopping those auto attacks from Muradin. But they're all very low right now.
A lot of damage coming out from this composition as Zuna's doing a lot of poking whiff for that W, but he's getting really low here. iDream getting some really good poke on him, and Dreadnought is out of mana, and they realize that this is collapsing on top of Zuna. They want to try and get this kill. K1 Pro might have overextended, though, getting poked down. There's a really good Blizzard here. Joanna has to back up this, and everyone on Tempo Storm is so but so is K1 Pro, so is iDream. The heals are almost out.
Yeah, but the temples are completed at this point in time, just about the 2-minute 45-second marker. So add 2 minutes to that timer, about 4:45. That's when we'll have the bottom temple spawning.
Really well done from Fan here in the bottom lane. He forced KO to do a full back, harassing him with that Moonfire and making sure he wasn't taking poke from the Vala, forcing him to miss out on a few means of experience, helping even that gap that Maelstrom lost from the towers.
Yeah, but look at Asmo dunk in the middle lane, getting chased down here. 3 heroes on him. He knows his life is more or less forfeit. He's just trying to buy time for a potential opposite gank. Malfurion, though, in the bottom lane, not going to step out of bounds. He's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, really poor positioning from Arthlon there. Has to be more aware of where Maelstrom is coming from. Really good collapse there from them, securing that kill. Killing Asmodee is more than just killing, just getting a hero and denying experience. It slows down the stacks as well. This is the most important time to get those stacks. You want to hit as many stacks as you can pre-10 so you can farm for yourself. And if you're denying that, that is huge for Maelstrom.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Asmodee, how is he doing so far in stacks? I haven't disabled it by UI.
Let me check real quick. I should just have that on him the whole time. He is at 30 bonus damage, so not much right now.
Okay, still pretty early in the game, but yeah, I mean, denying any of that stacking, like you mentioned, a rather big deal here. Here on Sky Temple, one of the better maps to farm stacks.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be working on that. Jonah spent a lot of her time, though, at that top shrine, so it wasn't, of course, helping the Asmodee farm those stacks, so they'll have to play keep up. And here we go, Jake, in that middle middle fort for Maelstrom, there is that mule you were talking about, showing how efficient it can be.
Yeah, they just went for the one there with Malfurion, but it's just such a strong talent, going to mitigate quite a bit of damage. So it means when Tempo, they start to get a structural damage done into a single fort, they really want to commit and take it down if at all possible, because it cannot rebuild a structure that has already fallen.
Yeah, and it looks like that both teams are going to be collapsing down here to contest the bottom shrine. I don't know who actually wins this fight. These compositions are so weird. As long as no one's out of position, though, Tempo Storm should be able to poke down Maelstrom.
Yeah, poke down is going to be tough, though. The triple healer in this game, and really, Lily is quite good at this point in time. I think Tempo has a better chance in these fights in the early game, but mid-game, once level 10 is hit, that's when it's going to get very difficult for them.
If the fight goes like post-minute, then Maelstrom should clearly win with this amount of heals. But Tempo Storm doing a good job of zoning, and that's all they have to do right now is just zone them back, hit Soldier on that shrine, and already shots are being fired at that bottom floor. But it looks like they want to collapse. The Stormbolt does miss Dreadnought. Soldier coming up, gets a little bit of blind there, and the nice knock-up onto King Caffeine, but he's just so tanky with that triple healer. It's going to take a lot to kill a Muradin with this.
Yeah, and the Mule is really starting to pay dividends. I mean, we see the bottom tower did go down on that lane. Lunaflare connecting on Asmodee. Hunter Smart goes off, but K1 Pro getting very low. We do see the damage over time. The explosion from that bomb is going to be just barely enough to take out Tyrande. Even with triple support, that poke is paying off.
Dunk Train getting really low as well. Zuna comes up from above. A nice globe onto Jaina. Dunk Train might barely get out there, but the living bomb does secure the kill. 5 kills to 1 in favor of Tempo Storm. It's just, they're not getting efficient trades. Maelstrom has to focus fire our target down. They need to put everything they can into that single Hunter's Mark to try and blow someone up.
I gotta hand it to Tempo Storm when you think about the Hunter's Mark. Every single time Hunter's Mark goes down, we see a rotation on the team. The player with the Hunter's Mark will leave, and basically Maelstrom's not lining the Hunter's Mark up with stuns. If they were doing that, that target would be able to make that rotation, get out of harm's way, and stay alive.
Oh man, the Mule again in that bottom fort. Tempo Storm might regret this late game as these structures are still standing.
Yeah.
If we take a look at the map control right now, mid wall down for Tempo Storm, top wall are down and fort already taking damage. That's permanent damage for Tempo Storm. If you look at map damage, they're basically even.
They are, but Tempo does have about a half-level lead, and they definitely have a very late-game composition, but I think this is when they're going to be weakest. Level 10 has been hit. Kale Foss, Asmodin, neither of them have really gone anywhere close to their potential in terms of that damage output, that poke. And while we see Divines from Starfall, Water Elemental, Avatar, and Tranquility, they're going to be so hard to take out.
Yeah, that is so much healing. Now, the Divine Storm makes sense. I like it a lot. It's just going to help secure someone who's out of position. You know, if Lily gets caught into that Lunar Flare, into the Divine Storm, she will die 100%. No cleanses, nothing to save her there. So I really like that pickup there from Dunk Train. 100 bonus damage right now for Artfall, and a bit slower than we normally see from Tempo Storm.
Yeah, but it's not terrible, right? I mean, the more time Asmodin has to just roam around, pick up stacks, well, the happier he's going to be towards the later of the game. We'll see just 6 more bonus damage going the way Windows 3 minions do fall, and Soldiers trying to take out these bottom lane giants.
Yep, really good rotations from both teams so far. Experience dead even right now, Jake, as both teams are very close right now despite the kill deficits. Maelstrom doing a good job rotating around the map and making sure they are getting that experience. Both teams just not really having much to do. There's no mercs to take, and they're just waiting for the shrines, and here they are spawning. We have one in the top lane and one in the bottom lane.
And at this point in time, I mean, it's a lot of the teams, they're going to opt to just kind of divide and conquer. But what they have to be careful of is splitting themselves up too much. I think Cloud9 in particular, they have to be very careful because a lone support is very easy to pick off. And Tempo Storm, they're currently controlling the top temple, but they do have presence in the middle lane.
Top Shrine looks like it will secure that top fort for Tempo Storm. Bottom Shrine working on the wall, still fort, bottom fort here, and that fort does end up falling on top. And Tempo Storm looking like they might want to collapse on iDream here, but he is safely backing out. Looks like they actually want to take the Knights from Maelstrom and push in this top wall.
This is a nice decision. I mean, they can take them out very efficiently. We see Tyrande and Malfurion both making their way up there. The Mule trying to keep this middle fort alive is really costing far more shots from that top temple, but it will end up going down, and those Bruiser Camp was in fact picked up here by Tempo Storm.
This is what we were talking about, aggressive rotation from Tempo Storm to make sure they out-push the Sustain and Mule. There we go, King Caffeine going on that backline. Lunar Flare dodged by Dreadnought. They're going to clean this up pretty quickly there. A good poke there from Asmodin, but the wall is going to stand. Actually, one of the towers does end up falling, and then we have a full level lead for Tempo Storm.
Yeah, level 13 was reached, and that actually gives Flamethrower to kill Boss. So the poke comes from much further at this point in time. The Globe plus that the Verdant Spheres empowered Flame Strike of Kale Foss played by Zuna, the damage is getting a lot higher. Yeah, it's going to keep stacking up, and once 16 happens, Kale Foss is going to be a real monster. Dunk Train being caught opposition here does have to back out. His team is quickly in pursuit right there. Does end up stunning the Asmodin. It looks like they want to try and go for a kill here. Dunk Train does have the slow from Water Elemental happens. Here comes the Divine Storm. Jugs has been popped, but not in range of the Lily. They are trying their hardest to blow this Asmodin up. Lily doing a lot of healing with that Jugs. Doesn't get interrupted. Wow. I cannot believe Arthlon is still alive, and Fan is so low in the backline. Key Caffeine's going to fall. Uther's going to fall, and Arthlon didn't die there, Jake. I actually have no words, Zoya, because they were focusing him. Now, let's point out the fact that Asmodin actually has the highest health pool in the game, but Lily's heal potential with Cups, if you can't interrupt her, you can't stop it. And they have so many stuns, but the bodies were all there in front of Lily. The Cups were safely getting off on the entire team, and Arth stayed alive. Kind of ridiculous.
You saw a little bit of hesitation there from Dunk Train as he was going in for the initial kill. The Lunar Flare landed, the Hunter's Mark went down, but he didn't Divine Storm. It looked like he wanted to get in range of Lily to land a Divine Storm, and that hesitation might have been what kept Arthalon alive. Do you use the Divine Storm to stop the heals, or do you use it to do the extra burst damage? I think if he would have popped it right away, Arthalon might have died.
Yeah, I think if you can manage to stun out the Lily every time, you're going to be in a much better position. But, well, all things considered, level 16 has been reached, and we do see those globes going out, starting to do massive damage. Flame Strike, powered by Verdant Spheres, now has Ignite that will apply the Living Bomb to every target hit by a Flame Strike if it's a heroic target.
Now this bottom wall and keep is going to take some serious damage here, and that's where the next shrine is going to be focusing. Good poke coming out onto that Murden. Dunk Train getting really low, but the heals are helping out a lot. Waiting to see when these shrugs will be popped. But with that 16, Zuna and Arthlon have so much potential poke. Look how low iDream's getting in the back.
It's so scary. to have to deal with this. Like, imagine if you didn't have triple support. How would you heal through this? That's the only reason why they're able to do so. But as a result, their damage output is far lower, and they really just, once again, need to go back to the drawing board to realize they need to find a single target, throw a Hunter's Mark on it, and eliminate it very early in these fights.
That was actually handled pretty beautifully by Maelstrom there. Like you said, the triple support handled the poke. Normally when you see a few good flame strikes like that from a Kael'thas and some good Azman globes, you just know the fight's about to be over. But
yeah.
After like a few seconds, everyone was healed up. So I could see why they would go for this composition against what Tempo Storm has. You can see the value just in that fight alone.
Yeah, but the damage has been done. That bottom keep ended up going down to this temple. Lily will be the one to stay while the rest of the team make sure they continue their presence on the map. Maelstrom not willing to fight till they have 16, but that is just around the corner. We're going to find out what talents they opt to go for in this game.
Knights being taken here by Tempo Storm in the top. And the Owl does scout it. Now keep the Owls and Tyrande alone might get a lot more play just because of how important visibility is now. So many teams abuse the looking at the tap screen and seeing the merc damage being done. Or the damage being done, whatever it was. But now that's not an option anymore. So having that Owl, having Clairvoyance to scout around the map is going to be so helpful for some teams.
It will, but we do see KO's getting very low. The heals are coming up. The Phoenix goes down, but the Cubs is active and keeping everyone alive. The damage output from Tempo Storm is severe, and we do see they're rather clumped up. A big Flame Strike right now could be lights out.
Soldier chasing IJ, but it looks like the slows will be enough to get him away, but we do still have the poke from Arthlon and Zuna. They are clumped up pretty high, but they are going to back out. No kill secured. A really good disengage there from Maelstrom, but they blew so many of their abilities in that fight. How can they contest Tempo Storm during this push?
300 bonus damage on that Asmoden's Globe of Annihilation. Remember, it gets empowered by that black pool. You see the damage done. Zuna somehow stays alive. Ice Block is forced out by the Jaina, and Caffeine going down. iDream goes as well, and Dunk healing himself, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Zuna was so far out of position. Maelstrom did a good job of collapsing on it, but Lily somehow able to keep him alive. They do not secure that kill. They're going on the dunk train, trying to secure that kill. KO gets it. Jake, level 19 to 16, and they're pushing into the core. I think this is going to be GG.
Wow, I actually just did not expect this result at all. Tempo Storm taking Sky Temple in flying colors, honestly. Taking this best of 5 series in the finals, currently up 2-0, Zoya.
It's a tough decision you have to make as a Tyrande player. K1 Pro wanting to go for the Lunar Flare on the kill target to help Dunk Train get in range to kill the person, or to Divine Storm and stun, or do you stun it for the Lily? We saw how that game made Lily almost look broken because no one was interrupting the jugs.
And you know, for a second I was like, man, I think Brightwing's better than they think. They should have stuck to Brightwing. Nope, I was completely wrong with that assessment because Lily paid off, and it just showed how good she can be if you can't get to her to stun her. I mean, even with the Lunar Blaze on Tyrande, the increased range, I'm pretty sure that was picked up, if I'm not mistaken. Let me confirm. Tyrande did have Lunar Blaze at level 7, yes. Yeah, so she did have the increased range. You'd think she'd be able to hit it, but if you can't actually get vision to see where that Lily is, you know there's a circle, but you can't pinpoint where she is because she's so far back. You can't just throw it at her and hope you hit her.
Yeah, it's tough. It's one of the hardest stuns land in the game without having someone there to Usually the Tyrande stun is the follow up. If someone gets a root, you use that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely hard. A very mobile Lily to hit that. Maybe just a slight oversight in the draft for Maelstrom.
The weirdest thing ever is I feel like one of the things that could have helped them deal with Lily is to drop the mule for vision. And it's a very, very obscure thing that could be done. Because it's not something we see, like scouting mules. It's a weird thing, but if it gives you eyes on, it might be worth trying.
Might be worth it.
Yeah, but either way, Tempo Storm taking this up 2-0. Best of 5 series. One more game will actually end this event. Yep. But Cloud9, we're going to find out what map they want to go to for game number 3, 2, in quotations. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, guys.
I didn't know that's what we were doing. Sorry, I thought you were throwing to a break. I was like...
See you in a bit. Alrighty, guys, we are back here getting ready for the second game of the night. Solid Jake and Zoya, my man in a box. What are you?
Let me out. Am I a good mime? Well, I'm not supposed to speak, but am I a good mime?
Hella decent, man.
Thanks, man. No, that was a really crazy game one. That draft blew my mind.
Yeah.
Lily going unstunned the entire game blew my mind. It was a... this is a situation where you go haymaker and you just, like, punt Lily out of there, man. Just get out.
Just get out.
Going into Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 2/3. We should just call it game 3 since it's up to
game 3. That's probably the easiest way to do this.
Why would he link it like that? Just like... I got it.
The Heroes music, they've got like some new songs in there.
Yeah, man. It's good. I love the music.
I don't know. I heard some wind chimes in this like Spider Queen song. I don't know how I feel about that. Why are there wind chimes in Spider Queen?
I gave you the draft link, sir. We have yet to start it, though. Yeah, so it looks like Templestorm will be first pick on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, both of the recent losses, like I think the record right now is 18-2, something like that, versus Maelstrom. Both of those losses, Jake, have taken place on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Uh-oh. Okay, so that's interesting. This is Cloud9. They feel like this is their strongest map. Templestorm has readied up in the draft here for Tomb of the Spider Queen. I don't think we'll see the support ban out, the support hog again, because it didn't pay off.
No, especially not on this map. That's like a thing that could potentially like cheese someone out of a tournament on Sky Temple, but not on this map. There's no way with how aggressive you have to be with the gems. There's no way that can happen. But Tempo Storm, here we go. We're going into the draft. First pick, first ban, over to Tempo Storm to see what they are wanting to ban out. Or are they wanting to deny from Cloud9 Maelstrom? You were seeing like this kind of perma-ban going on to Zeratul. No one is willing to really let people play around it, and there it is. You have the Asmodee ban coming out from Tempo Storm, and the Zeratul ban coming out from Maelstrom.
Okay, yeah, they just wanted to get that Zeratul out of there. They're afraid of that potential, and Tempo says, we don't want to deal with Asmo this game. He's probably just going to prioritize someone like Jaina. She's very good on this map. She has great lane clear.
Consistently, Maelstrom has done a thing where they'll pick Joanna Asmodan if they're second pick, just right out the gate. So I think that's something Tempo Storm is afraid of, just denying that option and picking Jaina. Jaina, despite the sprint nerf, still first pick first, like not she's never banned. She's almost never banned, but she's always first picked. People putting a lot of
she's so good. I mean, ever since they made the change where her passive, her trait applies to structures and minions, well, she's just a little bit too hard to pass up. But Kael'thas, they don't want to let him slip through the draft. That mage, the double mage potential, disallowing that. Would be too surprised to see Malfurion once again picked early.
Kael'thas mouth, maybe, yeah, that could be a possibility. Still have Sylvanas open. Again, Sylvanas last game went the entire draft pick, did not get picked or banned. That is something that's so crazy to me that all it took was a damage nerf on Silence and a Venom change, and suddenly she's first pick, first banned every game to she goes through the entire draft.
It's crazy, man. How
Vala picked over Sylvanas last game by Tempo.
That's weird to me. I still think Wailing is a phenomenal ability, but yeah, if she had a better level 4 talent, a bit more burst, then Venom is ripperoni and cheese.
Yeah. Yes. And Venom is officially in the dumpster. And then we're seeing that Kael'thas Joanna pick up. Joanna, maybe the best warrior in the game right now. People just constantly picking her up over Muradin. This gives Tempo Storm the option of their next two picks here. Rhaegar, Uther are both still up, so if Tempo Storm wanted to choke cold Maelstrom out of one of the burst heroes, as they do have that Jaina already, they can pick up Rhaegar or Uther here and then ban them out.
All right, well, that would not be a bad idea. but I don't... Oh my goodness, are they going to do it? I was going to say, I don't know if they would do it. There's the Rhaegar Muradin, making sure they just get one of each. So they can't be, you know, bullied out of the tanks, bullied out of the supports. They just got... Sprinkle them in there, and they'll figure out the rest of their puzzle at the end of the draft.
So Maelstrom here, probably looking to deny, well, not probably, clearly looking to deny damage. We have a lot of good options on the table. Tassadar, we saw it banned out from Maelstrom game 1. We still have Vala, Zagara still open. If they wanted to ban Sylvanas, they could. You know, the damage pool is getting much thinner, though. To see what they want to ban out. You know, maybe Maelstrom could be afraid of Tempo Storm doing something a little cheesy, busting out that Butcher play early on, trying to aggress them down. Butcher Muradin, one of the scariest roam comps in the game, could definitely control the early game with that.
Yeah. But who are they going to ban? I mean, I think this is definitely one of the maps where, like you're talking about Butcher, where I think he could be a bit more viable. But Kerrigan, also a big melee assassin threat. They're going to take her out. Does Tempo?
If Maelstrom remembers game 1, where they actually they of course they remembered. Maelstrom beat Tempo Storm on Tomb of the Spider Queen when they let Zuna play Kerrigan. Why would you ban that out? Because Zuna's Kerrigan missed every combo that game.
Oh,
so they were like, you know what, we're afraid of that 0% combo land rate, so we're gonna ban it out. But we do see the Tempo Storm does ban out the Uther.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to shots fired at my own team, man. Zuna, he was bad that game. But Uther banned out.
Damn.
They are going for that double there's no burst healer, right? You know, they can only go
right, and they're still going to go Illidan. Now, Illidan lost his Unstoppable, and Metamorphosis took a massive hit, does almost no damage now, and it has a smaller radius, and they don't have Ancestral or Divine Shield, but they're still confident in Van's Illidan play. Quite interesting.
Yeah. Tempo Storm needs to be able to realize that he's much easier to kill now. Letting Illidan go through. As soon as Fan gets aggressive on that backline, Muradin stuns, follows up, and can blow him up. There is the Illidan mouth that we had predicted. Of course, locking in that mouth there just because they do not want to play Lili. They are afraid of that chokehold.
I think that's a smart thing to do, but Tempo, they've got 2 more picks. Now, one thing Tempo Storm doesn't really have a lot of is vision, and Farsight has been moved to level 7 in this patch. You're almost never going to put a talent into that when you could be getting Cleanse or
Shield on W.
Yeah, the Shield on W, excuse me. Yeah, Earth Shield. So this could give them the choice to go. Oh, there it is! I was gonna say Tyrande. I was hoping for more of a build-up, but that's the combo. This is that new combo, Zoya.
This is super aggressive, super.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Cheesy. I can't believe we're running it. That's so bad. Maelstrom has used up all of their time pool, Jake. They're down to less than 10 seconds. They have to lock in that damage. Vala, Zagara. Zagara would actually be really bad here because no escape. They go for the Tassadar. Tassadar is super smart. You got the extra damage absorption for the Illidan, for Kael'thas, and he has the escape. If the Butcher is using that Ruthless Onslaught, I believe is the name of it, or maybe that's the Talon. Unrelenting Pursuit, maybe is the ability's name. If he uses his charge, Tassadar can phase shift out of it.
He can. It's one of the
really
few
good pickup.
Heroes. Now, there's a lot of really fun things just talking about his charge, the unrelentless assault, whatever it's actually called. We're terrible casters, Zoya. Let's confirm. Ruthless Onslaught. Good enough. Good enough.
We were like so close. It
counts. Count it. Yeah. Anyways, if you're playing Zeratul and you have a Butcher charging you and you blink over a wall, Butcher will actually turn around and just continue to chase you. And the way that ability works is he gets faster and faster and faster until he hits his target or something like a wall or the target disappears. I don't know if Shadowstalk disengages it.
I don't know, actually. That's not something I've checked.
That's a good question.
It might, actually.
Huh. Anyways, Butcher Tyrande, of course, Shadowstalk wouldn't be an option as Tyrande is on Butcher's team. And we're going to see crazy synergy, of course, when you put the Butcher's brand on a target. He gets 75% on a minion's in terms of health return from all damage done, but if he uses it on an opposing hero, he gets 150% damage done back in health. Now, you amplify the damage dealt with Hunter's Mark. It's also going to amplify the damage received. And then, of course, just the easy combo of when the Butcher charge hits, it stuns. You follow that up with the Lunar Flare, and it's oh so very devastating.
Yeah, it's so much easy kill potential. It's like we talked about. It's a Kerrigan combo, but you can't miss it, and it's so easy to follow up with that damage. It's so much burst, and we're going into the game, guys. Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map. This is match point for Tempo Storm. Can they close out the series here with this hyper-aggressive composition, or will Maelstrom be able to swing it back in their favor?
$1,000 going to first place, as well as 80 points towards that seeding for the July North America Open. This, again, you're earning yourself seeding points for the official Blizzard qualification event.
Yeah, that's what these teams are after, making sure that they have the easiest route possible through those qualifiers, Jake. But here we go, loading into the map. It is in the blue side, up 2-0. Tempo Storm, Dreadnought on Rhaegar, Zuna on the Butcher, KO on Jaina, Sowundir playing that Meriden, and Arthlon playing Tyrande.
No Muradino. They picked the wrong heroes. If we look at the draft here for Cloud9, they in fact
Re-game.
We have dual Muradins. And the game will time itself out. So yes, we do in fact have to regame. Grass's Tempo Storm on their win. Great! Jared's just spinning. Anyways, so we do see that Cloud9, of course, they just gonna have to regame. They unfortunately had the wrong hero selected, King Caffeine. He knew he wanted to play Murd in that game, but he's gonna be on his girl Johanna instead. And we're going to get this all remade and sorted as fast as we can. Guys, if you do not follow us already, you can follow myself at SolidJakeGG on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Consistent streams, tournaments, talk shows, all about Heroes of the Storm here on the channel. And I do giveaways quite frequently during my shows. Give me a follow. And Zoya, can you talk yet?
Yeah, I've been talking. Huh? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, you can also follow me at Tempo Zoya. We have a Tempo Storm, Heroes of Storm YouTube channel that we're producing out 4 to 5 videos a week right now. Aiming to do more, just make sure we have content coming out every day from our pro team. You can follow that over at youtube.com/TempoStormHeroes. And again, Jake's content channel usually has the tournaments we're playing in, so should keep watching that too.
Lots of cool stuff on the horizon. We are getting ready here for, again, this is game number 3, match point for Tempo Storm Cloud9. They need to bring it back if they want to stay alive, and like Zoe was mentioning, this is the map in which they've proven they can defeat Tempo Storm, and hopefully they can bring it back here, because I want to cast more games, man.
Yeah, no, like, just 2 games? No, that's not fun. I want to go game 5. Bring it back, Maelstrom. I believe Tempo Storm trying something cheeky out here, Jake. And
seems that way. Butcher Tyrande backs out. Hyper aggro in your face, and when we talk about the combo, you have Butcher charging in, followed by Hunter's Mark, Lunar Flare, and the potential of a Storm Bolt coming out from Muradin. You're locked down for basically a month, and then all of your bills, you haven't paid them, and well, you're dead. That's how it works, Zoya.
That's how it works, man. That's just a life lesson in general, man. Pay your bills, people. Pay your bills. Guys, we're loading in Tempo number 2 at this Game 3 Tomb of the Spider Queen. Loading in now.
Loading it now. All right, guys. Well, again, get on social media. Let us know who you think's going to win this series. And game number 3 starting right on up.
We're almost in their team. And here we are again. Try this one more time in the blue trunks. It is Tempo Storm, Dreadnought, Rhaegar, Zuna, Butcher, Sowundir on that Muradino, Arthlon on Tyrande, and KO on that Jaina.
And on the red side, that's Cloud9, Maelstrom with K1 playing Tassadar, Dunk Train on Malfi, iDream playing Kael'thas, Fan on Illidan, and King Caffeine rounding up the team on his appropriate hero, Johanna. Wow, that mount synergy, I like it.
I think that teams are starting to catch on to Tempo Storm Seeker. They'd be like, we're starting to look at more teams are fashionable with their tint mount combos. Not only do both these teams same mount, same tint combo-ish, but they're also matching with each other, as you all have the dark side with the Maelstrom and then the reddish with the Tempo Storm.
It builds team synergy, man. If you guys look good together, well, you slay nerds together.
It helps, dude. Like, more than you would realize. You gotta look good when you're crushing nerds.
That's the esports dream, my friends. All right, well, we can just take a quick look at the talents. It is, in fact, going to be Ranger's Mark. This is just going to allow Tyrande to apply that Hunter's Mark more frequently, but interesting enough, it's going to be Invigoration. The hamstring hits a hero, half the mana cost is refunded, so this is going to be very in-your-face hamstring usage out of Butcher.
Yep, really cool pickup there coming out from Zuna. Will they go for it? And then we do see K1 Pro smartly put in that bottom lane. Does reveal where Zuna and Arthlon on. They're going to go ahead and get on out of that lane. Caffeine playing pretty safe. This is actually a really good composition to deal with this. You have two players with permanent escapes. You got Caffeine with his trait, Tassadar with his E. And then, of course, you're going to have the Cleanse with Malfurion later on, which is going to help out so much.
Yeah, they're just going to distribute their heroes in a way where they can safely soak with Tassadar and Johanna and then roam around with their other packs, so they're never going to have just, you know, a lone kill Foss that's vulnerable. They're going to avoid doing that as often as possible.
We'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, notice that Zuna did end up trying to use his E to charge on in there, but he did cancel it. That is something that a lot of new Butcher players don't realize, that if you spam it after it's been used, you can cancel. But there we go. Illidan does get stunned.
Nice
no follow-up from the team, though. Nice disengage from Dunk Train. No damage done.
Yeah, just beautiful placement on the roots, and that's another thing we can talk about. After that whole combo comes out from Butcher, well, the roots can disengage any other aggression from the allies of Tempo Storm.
So what the one thing right now that Tempo Storm has in their advantages, it's forcing Maelstrom to play super safe and far back. This is going to allow, like, no kills are going to be had, but Tempo Storm is going to have full control over C-turns. Now, we do see iDream goes down the bottom lane, but Fan and Dunk Train coming for the flank. Zuna taking a lot of damage here. The root goes down, does hit Rhaegar. Will Zuna be able to gather? The Moonfire does seem like it might be enough. A nice heal from Rhaegar.
Oh, my goodness.
Zuna is right to kill Illidan. He goes behind the wall. No storm from K1 Pro.
Wow.
Follow-up stun on the Malfurion. The Blizzard's going to secure the kill. 3-0 in favor of Tempo.
Double healer. Tyrande, Rhaegar, just barely enough to keep Zuna alive. There goes that Dimensional Warp, keeping Tassadar, you know, completely disengaging that charge out of Butcher. But really, the stun comes out, followed by that Blizzard. That is going to be the 4th takedown at the 2.5-minute marker here.
Basically, everything I was saying about how Tempo Storm wasn't getting kills is, like, completely wrong. They've only gotten 4. They have full control of the turn-in still, though. Like, Maelstrom has to play.
Top lane?
So, the Johanna in the
nice,
top lane.
Nice.
Oh, that trait. So well timed there, able to get out of there.
Yeah, Lunar Flare was there. Nicely played by Arthlon, but of course, Johanna very slippery, of course, having that iron hide to just back on out.
KO actually doing a really good job of farming both bottom and mid. And at the same time, Johanna, man, you can't... Like, I want to look elsewhere on the map to see what other people are doing. No, we can't stop watching these two.
We have to follow Butcher Tyrande, like, this whole game, because they're just going to get picks left and right. We thought Johanna would be safe even at her own gate. Not safe from that trio.
Looks like a big turn-in coming up here. K1 Pro trying to delay it as much as he can, but no, they are going to get all those gems. 123 so far for Tempo Storm. Dreadnought turning in another 14 on the bottom, does get that in. Huge turn-ins done by that team.
And, you know, we're looking a full level ahead in favor of Tempo at this point in time. Bit of an update on those talents. Feral Heart, Dread opting to just have the additional sustain ability. Protective Shield here for Tyrande. That's really just going to help to keep Butcher alive. Now, Protective Shield saw quite a few changes in this last patch. It is now based on your total health pool. So, it's quite good on a hero like Butcher because his health pool is rather high.
Ban opting to do the Giants here at the bottom of the map. So, there used to be actually, they are going to back off. There used to be timings where you would take the camps as you got a turn-in, but now you can't do that anymore.
Right.
You have to take camps beforehand. So it's like this really awkward time of, when do you take camps now, Jake? Do you just try and force it randomly at different times? Is there, you know, a strategic way to do it? Or you just, whenever you have a chance, you go for it?
Just got to try to sneak them out here like you're talking about. I mean, they're just trying to slip on in and grab that one standing giant, but both teams doing a great job denying this. Zuna going to get hit with that gravity lapse, getting very low. Lunar Flare buying some time for him to turn around with those self-heals, and he will stay alive.
Illidan goes down, Zuna does live, and it looks like he's looking to re-engage. KO comes through, but they're slow on Dunk Train. The root happens, but the follow-up stun will it be enough?
Oh
Blizzard
my
Blade, Flare gonna
gosh.
secure another kill. Dreadnought getting really low to K1 Pro, but they're just gonna back out again. 7 kills to 0, Jake. This is looking scary, and look at Zuna going again. He does cancel at the last second.
Yeah, I mean, that Dimensional Warp can disengage nicely, but it's currently 7-0 here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and now we have that first summon on the Web Weavers. The 50 gems turned on in, and Tempo now has a ton of pressure across the map.
Yeah, not only are these gates to be knocked down, but this is going to expose the heroes hiding behind them. iDream sitting pretty right now as he is not exposed, but as soon as these Web Reavers get here, and there are minions under that tower, he is going to be collapsed upon. He has to play so safe here, and the range on Zuna is so big. He can charge from so far away. Will iDream be safe down here?
We'll find out. He's trying to stick it out. I mean, soak that lane the best he can. But the Giants, the Web Weavers, they're being escorted by the 3 members of Tempo Storm. And across the map, we can see they're making sure they soak everywhere. Soldier pushed in, but the Web Weaver has fallen. Middle lane Web Weaver also going to go falling. KO going to rotate down to help his team, potentially, as we do see Butcher going very far forward.
Does end up not following up. The thing is, you have to keep in mind that Tyronda's range, even with that level 7 talent, I believe she did get it, right?
She got Lunar Blaze, yeah, but it's still not anywhere near as far as he was charging.
Yeah. So not having that, but 2-level lead, Jake.
Heroics.
With Heroics.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
That's the Furnace. Furnace Blast, of course, explodes around the Butcher, and he can continue moving. He can even charge forward before he activates. It's a 4-second load time. 3 seconds, excuse me.
And, Web Weaver just now falling, Jake. That has been a long-lasting Web Weaver. The heroics were popped there. Zuna does not get any hero hit with that. So they're actually taking a lot of poke here from this kill. Thus, Tyrande and Rhaegar doing a good job of keeping everyone alive. And it looks like this front wall should fall to Tempo Storm.
It's not looking good for Cloud9, being down 2 levels here, losing on the heroic tier. Fan has 11 gems. He wants to turn them in, but every minute he stays out here without his team is getting a bit more risky. So he backs on off, regroups with his team, and they're trying to start to push out to get some more presence on the map. 18
gems turned in so far. 41 for Tempo Storm as they
gosh.
just unloaded so many of their gems. One more wave and they'll have enough for a second back turn in here. And mid and top are exposed. KO dropping off 10 in this top lane. Dreadnought zoning out Fan. And they are just out for blood. Jake, I have a question.
Enough? You have a question?
Do you think K1 Pro might go Force Wall?
Honestly, with Butcher, I think that's a brilliant idea. Now, the hard thing is, though, is you need to close off that lane entirely. You need to make a complete lock-off to stop that to charge, because otherwise the Butcher's just going to keep on charging. King Caffeine does get picked off. Nice place here by Tempo, and they're rotating aggressively, looking for more takedowns.
You know you have a lot of damage when you can blow up a Joanna that fast. She's one of the tankiest, hardest to kill, might be the hardest to kill hero in the game because of her trait and her mobility.
Her and Tassadar, they're the 2 hardest to kill in the game, and they're finding pickoffs constantly. I mean, we can look here. There's already 2 deaths on Johanna and the 1 death on Tassadar.
Rip, it's Archon. No Force Wall.
Dream is dead.
The big stun coming out onto Jaina there. Does get the ancestral healing there. Caffeine taking a lot of damage from that burst from the Butcher. Illidan's going to fall first in this fight. A lot of splash damage from K1 Pro, though. Everyone's stacking up to deal damage from that Archon. Dreadnought gets slow in the back. Tyrande heals him up at the last second. 3 members of Maelstrom are dead. iDream is getting chased in the back by Soldiers. Lunar Blaze doesn't have anything, but there's a stun onto K1 Pro. Soldier might go down, and it's going to be a 4-for-1 trade and a 9-minute keep, Jake.
That's actually ridiculous, and just everything there was precision. Tempo Storm covering so many options. We saw Johanna barely escape, but the Sentinel came out from Tyrande. Just very clean play, and it's so hard to fight back when you're down like this. Tempo is aggressive. They're low on mana, but they can just rotate back, heal on up, and continue to dominate the map control.
Tyrande as an off-healer is showing to be surprisingly good. If you look at the healing done, Jake, Tyrande out-healing Malfurion. 4K, almost 3K behind Rhaegar. We're seeing so much damage being done on that backline. Jaina almost falling. Tassadar doing as much maximal splash damage with that Archon, yet no one died. The chain heals from Dreadnought, and the support heals from Tyrande, proving invaluable there.
There's this really smart guy on this podcast I watched called Town Hall that was talking about how Tyrande will return into the meta when he read the patch notes here. Really got to give him a lot of credit.
You did good there, Jake. You did good. 14 to 11, 3-level lead for Tempo Storm. 12 kills to 1. They are down a keep, Jake. What does Maelstrom need to do to come back this game?
Well, they got to pick Tyrande. Anyways, so 3-level lead. Yeah, we're talking about the gems. Right now, nowhere near enough to turn it from Tempo Storm, so they don't have to worry about fighting over the control points as much as they have to worry about just getting picks. And it's so hard to do that safely. But if they can find Rhaegar, they can find Jaina out of position. They do have the roots and the gravity lapse and condemn. That's a combo they can land to lock them down for a long time and pick them off. But they need to get a bit more aggressive because they're just staying in the back defending right now.
Yeah, it's so hard for them to find a game. Oh, God, Idrim has so many gebs on him, man. That's just such a juicy kill target for Butcher. I know they are looking at him 100%. Level 14, almost 15 here for Tempo Storm. If they can hit 16 before Maelstrom has 13, that's one of those almost unwinnable situations there, Jake. So hard to come back in. And almost a third Web Weaver here. They need a few more gems. And it looks like Tempo Storm's going to try and sneak in boss.
Yeah, they actually have enough in their pockets at this point in time. They're, like you said, they're two-manning the boss. Tyrande can throw the heals onto Butcher. Butcher has the self-healing. And Hunter's Mark, of course, applies a lot of additional damage. Arthlon just backing out, scouting this out. We're going to see Oracle pop here by K1 Pro, actually just using Size from to get vision so they know what is happening. About to be on an even talent footing right now, but both of the warriors in the bottom lane.
Yep, Murden is coming up as well as Joanna, but will the fight happen? Well, they're going straight on the dunk train. Will the explosion hit? It looks like it's a bit out of range. No, it does not. Zuna overextended just a little bit here, has to back out. He's pretty low on mana, a big Malfurion Tranquility, but Illidan's still going to fall there. Zuna gets Ancestral Healing to full health. Idream being chased by the Water Elemental. KO diving deep. Nice Ice Block to avoid the burst damage. That's going to be Malfurion falling. Good Lunar Blades there from Arthlon. Caffeine taking a lot of damage. Gets hit by that Stormbolt. KO getting poked down with the Flame Strike. Not going to fall. Tastar has to be out. No, he ends up falling as well. 4 for nothing, 16 kills to 1, and this is going to be level 16 for Tempo Storm.
The Thunderstrike there, the moment that Tassadar's Dimensional Warp expired, we saw the Thunderclap go off, and Soldier wasn't sure where he was going to be. He just knew the timing. He said, if you're around me, you're going to die. That 300% bonus damage with level 13, enough to secure that takedown, and props to Dreadnought Dunk Train for cleansing himself from that Burrow Charge. Not getting hit by the Furnace, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's just too much of a level lead, so much burst coming out. That's where you see, we talked about it in the draft, the choking of the burst healers, Jake. Only Uther and Rhaegar can heal through that much damage. Even with Cleanse, it's not enough for Malfurion. It was a great draft choice there from Tempo Storm, making sure they had this burst when they couldn't get Rhaegar or Uther.
All right, well, the Flame Strike goes out, the charge goes in, but again, Johanna is unstoppable for a fair amount of time. With Web River Summoning, the boss still has more than 60% of its health.
That's a huge push here from Tempo Storm. It's getting poked down as well as it can. Phoenix has expired. There goes on straight on the Idrim. The explosion happens. The heals from Malfurion trying to keep him alive. There's the Water Elemental and Shell pops really early there on Zuna. K1 Pro having to phase shift out, and it looks like they've just been zoned off. Soldier doing a good job of pushing Maelstrom back, and the keep gonna fall. It's 2 keeps down, Jake.
Yeah, Tempo's quite low on mana right now, but the boss is still there. It's going to keep Maelstrom busy, and those Web Weavers, well, there's one in the bottom lane. Very healthy middle lane. Tempo is going to opt to push with this, take out this final remaining fort.
That fort's going to fall. Web Weaver at half HP. Maelstrom has to respond to the bottom Web Weaver. They do not want to. They did not take Mule this game, correct? Malfurion did not.
There's no Mule, correct.
No Mule, so yeah, but any core damage, of course, will be permanent. Have to clear that up. Idream desperately wanting that 16 Jake. The Flame Strikes need to have that Living Bomb attached to it for them to be able to have a chance in this game.
Yeah, but Tempo just won't lit up. They're keeping that aggression on. They're just trying to strangle them out by forcing them in their base. This way they can't go out onto the map. They can't get any presence, pick up any mercenary camps. As a result, their experience is much lower.
Yep, it's 4-level lead right now, Jake. This is crazy how much ahead Tempo Storm is. They just keep snowballing it further and further into their lead. They're taking the Knights now. Maelstrom still doesn't have a full turn in here. 18 gems total is all that has been put into the little coffers.
Yeah, we have to point that out. They haven't turned in once. 18 gems. They've gotten a single kill versus 16 kills. Tempo is looking pretty okay in this game, Zoya.
Yep, full 3-level lead here. Still no 16. Maelstrom is desperately grabbing on. You see Fan, going to that top lane to soak what little he can. Templestorm reacts to this though, going straight on the dunk.
No.
There's the winter brace. Dunk Train doesn't even get that ice block off. He gets annihilated so fast. There's the Starfall in the back. K1 Pro has to back off it. Caffeine taking a lot of damage. Doesn't have his healer. Without him, will they be able to live? Zuna going straight in. Caffeine does pop that trait. Will it be enough? The Lunar Blaze hit does not stun. It was a bit too early. And no, the heroic from Zuna misses. Fan has to pop Metamorphosis. He's in the middle of 5 members though. No invulnerability flame's gonna fall. Is this game, Jake?
I think it is, Zoya. We're talking a 4-level lead, just about. Soldier gonna get the heal off on his ally there. Caffeine in the backline doesn't have the trait, I don't think, right now. We see she just used it. K1 Pro gonna be able to use that Dimensional Warp to stay alive, but, well, they're forcing him back.
They help off the core. That's
a big deal, but oh no.
Gets caught out of position, is going to end up falling. Dunk Train was not in range to heal him up. 4-level lead, but they almost have 16, Jake. We've seen comebacks before when people are down 3 keeps. Kael'thas gets his power spike here. Do you think this can be enough for them to turn it around?
It's so hard. When you consider how close Templestorm is to having the Storm talents, and the fact that Cloud9 has actually done like 0 structural damage, like we just look at the forts of Templestorm, they haven't removed a single structure in this game. Not a wall, not a tower, nothing.
Yeah, it's such a huge lead here. Even if they somehow got a wipe right now, pre-20, you're right. What would they get?
You could spin it. You could spin it 2 ways. The fact that there's so many structures available means there's that much experience they can collect. But for them to get a wipe and do that, they can't push out to get a keep in time. It's just very unlikely that they would be able to safely remove a keep if they're fighting, because they're probably going to be fighting on their side of the map.
Man, Izream has so many gems on him. 57. He has enough for a full second turn if somehow they got that first one without using his gems. Butcher and Tehran, of course, roaming around the map, taking every Merc camp they can, just waiting for 20, it seems to be what Templestorm game is, making sure they have those Storm talents ready to try and just end it out.
Yeah, there's no reason to get aggressive without that advantage, and there it is. We see the Rewind. Now, this is the new Rhaegar build. With Tidal Waves at level 16, when you spec into Rewind, the double heal, it's almost like you have 2 Ancestral healings. In a lot of ways, this makes Rhaegar the best healer in the game, in my opinion at least. Rewind here, Muradin, very good. Bolt, Butcher with Bolt. Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, and it looks like Templestorm's trying to lock it in here with this boss. This much pressure might be too much. I mean, they can't respond to the boss. The core's already taken damage. They have all 3 lanes being pushed in with catapults. This is a free boss for Templestorm, and they're going to want to look to end with this push right here.
Nexus Frenzy is almost a BM pickup from Arthlon as far as I'm concerned. The more I think about it, I looked at it and I was like, oh, it must be Vala or something, right? Something like, you know, whatever. That's not that weird. But I think about it, it's like, this is what? Who? Hello?
I don't know, man. I have no control over Arthlon. He's a crazy guy. But there is the Spider spawning. They did end up getting that turn in with iDream. Will this be enough to help counteract the push? The boss going straight for that core. Good poke from Kael'thas in that backline, but Dreadnought healing up with 1 chain heal there. Will Templestorm commit to kills, or are they just going to go straight on the core?
Oh, the Bolt with the Furnace is going to blow up. We see the damage being dealt. Just getting that 1 takedown. Ancestral will keep Zuna nice and healthy. That Hunter's Mark removes Illidan very quickly in this battle, and Templestorm will be your Team Liquid champions.
Really, that game, man, was just insane. It looked like it was going to be a really slow game, like the first 2 minutes, right? No kills were secured. Maelstrom was doing a really good job of being patient with where they were engaging and you know, how they were landing. And then suddenly the snowball happened, and it happened fast. 4 kills in the first engagement. Then suddenly they're at 7 kills, and then 14-1. Huge snowball effect there from Templestorm, and utilizing that map objective as well they could.
It was well played, man. There's no other way to put it. They played incredibly aggressively, and they found takedowns. It was so funny. They would, like, back off, and then they would just flip a switch, and that the Butcher would just, like, he'd be walking away, but suddenly he's charging at you. And then with Lunar Blaze and Tirana, you can follow up with that stun from so far away. You're not expecting that turnaround. And they did that so many times in that game.
Yeah, it was really, really good. It's just crazy how well executed that was from Templestorm, you know, with a new hero. It goes to what I was saying, you know. It kind of feels like Butcher's just a better version of Kerrigan.
In a lot of ways, I have to agree. But yeah, that's going to actually be it. I know that's short and sweet, just 2 games. Of course, this event was supposed to end last week, but due to some server issues on Heroes of the Storm, it had to be postponed for these finals. And Tempo decided to take the Grand Finals 2-0, so they will earn themselves $1,000 and 85 points towards seeding of the July North American Open, which is actually happening next weekend, Zoya.
Yeah. And first place in this tournament guarantees them top 2 seed, Jake, which is really important for a tournament like this. So we'll have to keep an eye on how the seeding point affects everything else going into the tournament. Because it matters. It's not just for this weekend. Of course, it's for the main event as well, I believe, right? So the round of 8 will be, of course, affected by the seeding. So, not wanting to. Okay. Looks like I'm going to try and get Arthlon down here, and we can do a quick interview with him.
So we're gonna do this. We're gonna get Arthlon to sit right with us here, and join us for a live interview, a victory interview for Tempo Storm. Of course, Arthlon was playing Tyrande in that last game, and I can't wait to pick his brain about this sweet hero that nobody expected to come back in the meta.
I hate you. I'm gonna start doing that too, man. I'm just gonna be like, you know what? This is the patch for Raynor. I'm gonna say it every patch. Until finally Blizzard like...
Have I been claiming Tyrande was coming back? Have I?
Oh.
No. No. Not till this patch.
Okay, you have this one, Jake. And this one's better than the Emerald Wind one. I'll have to give you that. This one, we'll have to see if she sticks, though. Here's Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
There's Arthalon, not Taylor. Sorry.
Arthalon.
Hello?
I wasn't actually ready to interview you. I didn't know Zoe was leaving me, but let's do this. Congrats on qualifying, and let's talk Tyrande. Now you were on
She's my bae.
You were on Town Hall last week, and we talked about Tyrande, and you weren't sold on the idea of Tyrande being good in this patch. Why have you changed your ways?
I think there's a lot of good picks right now that make Tyrande good. You have Muradin, you have Butcher, you have Kerrigan. That's what Tyrande has always kind of relied on to be good in the meta. Just other heroes to work with her. And right now in this patch, she has tons of heroes, so she's going to be really relevant in this patch.
Let's talk about the Butcher in particular. Do you think it's viable to play Tyrande with just Butcher? Do you think that's enough of a scary combo?
Yeah, I think so. And she complements Butcher well just because, he's always in there and he needs to get healed, so she's basically just like Butcher's best friend because she has damage application, follow-up stun, follow-up heal, and then even like vision to see where you could maybe, pick somebody off from.
Yeah, very cool. It's almost like Butcher in a lot of ways is like the opposite of Stitches. Would you agree with that? Stitches pulls you in, Butcher goes to you.
Even though they look exactly the same and they're right next to each other.
It's true. It's true. All right, well, other things in this patch, I know you're not a support player, but how do you feel about the current support meta? Brightwing's seen a lot of changes. We actually saw you guys almost get bullied out of supports in Game 1. Do you think it's an issue?
I mean, yeah, when you only have, 5 or 6 supports and 2 of them aren't very good, it becomes very easy just to ban them out and pick them away. But, I mean, Lily is not that bad. She's really, she's a good healer. It's just she doesn't have much outside of that.
Hi, Zoya.
Lily's not that bad, okay.
I don't think she's that bad. Like, she's not like, oh, you have Lily on your team, you instantly lose. I think Brightwing's worse than Lily right now, so...
I think most people would agree.
Yeah.
All right, well, next week, we've got the NA Open. Tempo Storm, the one and only team that has qualified thus far for the July... Or, excuse me, not July. The regional event here for North America. You guys confident going into this? Like, what? You guys going to pull out secret strategies? Who do you have your eyes on? What are your thoughts on moving forward?
Well, one more note before I answer this. I just want to explain the Nexus Frenzy on Tyrande. That's what I always go by.
Oh, okay.
It's not some troll pick. Usually I have Battle Momentum, which complements that. But I think Nexus Frenzy is good just because you can auto-attack from farther away, so you can have better follow-up. And then once you have True Shot Aura, you actually do a lot of damage. And then if you have Battle Momentum, which I usually do, it complements that as well.
That's actually really interesting.
For the BlizzCon qualifiers, though, I mean, we're just going to keep playing our game and winning, I guess. That's just what we do. Honestly, I mean, how else can you say it? Like, it's not like I don't know. We're not doing anything cheesy or special or anything. We just play our game and we play it well. And I think it shows.
It certainly did in that series. Arthlon, once again, congratulations on your victory here. Take that sweet money to, I don't even know where you would bring it. Buy a nice Nerf gun.
Lots of Taco Bell runs.
Oh, great. All right, man. Congrats once more. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Peace.
Good job. Hello.
Hello. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for us here. Zoya, where can the lovely nerds watching this broadcast follow you?
Follow me on Tempo Zoya at Twitter. It says down below. I've started streaming again, and I've streamed every day, but a lot like today, just because I woke up late. I'm not streaming at night, but follow me at twitch.tv/ZoyaTV. Everyone in the house streams as well. You can just follow, you know, the Tempo Store on Twitter. We usually tweet out from that. I always tweet out as well when it happens. You can also follow our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TempoStormHeroes, where we will be producing lots of Heroes content from the most winningest and best team in the entire world.
Great!
Great. That's it from me, man. Our next tournament, of course, we play tomorrow night in the ESL Major League Season 3.
Yes.
We play, I don't know if we know who we're playing yet. It's between the winner of Complexity and someone else.
It's Complexity.
Oh, it is Complexity. It's Complexity.
Yeah.
Okay, so we play tomorrow versus Complexity, and then we don't play again until Road to BlizzCon this weekend. So you know, just make sure you tune in and cheer us on.
All right, guys. Well, you can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube at SolidJakeGG. All of the VODs from this tournament will be on that YouTube channel. We have another event coming, the North American Open. Again, we'll be streaming that here on this channel next week. And, of course, you can get all the updates on Twitter. Zoya, thank you so much for hopping in here and casting this event with me. And congrats to Tempo Storm on their victory, earning those seeding points for next week's event. It's going to do it for us here. And, while I am here, I will just publicly announce this. I will not be on Town Hall this week, but you can watch Zoya, Sham2, and Kubi doing Town Hall this week. I'm sure they'll have a great guest for us.
Is this your first episode you've missed?
Second.
Oh, rip.
Yep. All right, guys. Peace.